Hi, I'm Sarah Dressel and I'm the developer of Junkyard Universe and I'm trying to develop this game in 6 months. And I'm not only trying to develop it in 6 months, I'm trying to do so part-time as a solo game developer. Now, developing a game in 6 months is not a problem. Some people can develop games in 1 hour. I can't, but I've heard people do this kind of things on game jams. But that's not the kind of game you can put on Steam and sell it. So I want to make a sellable game in 6 months as a part-time solo game developer. And if you tell that to other people, they usually go, "You're crazy," which is right. But here's why I still think I can pull it off. I'm an information designer. And information design encompasses a lot of disciplines. It's a multidisciplinary approach, but I think the one's most relevant to game design is interface design. So that user interface, that people know which buttons to click. Interaction design, meaning people understand what they can do, and those actions kind of behave the way they expect. And overall usability. So people can use this thing and it works. And UX design, which I think is a bit more than usability only, it's also making it fun, because games are supposed to be fun, I hear. I've also worked as an IT instructor, so I know a thing or two about programming. I've also worked as an IT project manager, so I kind of think I've got a feeling about how to keep a project under control. I'm also a creative writer. I've held readings in German and English for a paying audience, so I think I can also write a sentence or two that kind of makes sense. And a long, long time ago, I've also been a pen and paper RPG designer. I've been with a group that was called Draken Rollenspiele, which translates to Draken role-playing games. So yeah, we created pen and paper RPGs. But most importantly, I've made this game before. Well, kind of, sort of. What I mean by this is the previous version of the game. This is Junkyard Universe, the version I made with Unity. So what happens in this game is you've got these items flying towards you, and you can dissolve them with your dissolve beam, and then they turn into nothingness. And you can also use this other dissolve beam, which is the dark dissolve beam, which was supposed to dissolve dark or mean objects. And you get dissolve points for dissolving things, and you can also get hurt when those items hit you. And if you make it long enough for this counter to go down to 0, the space station would eventually arrive. And yeah, that was pretty much all this game was doing. Now, this was still pretty close to a usual shooter, galaxy shooter. You just moved around your spaceship and you shot things. I called it Solve, but it was more or less the same. And the actually important thing, which is different than other galaxy shooters, this repair beam and this collect beam, they didn't work, they never worked. The repair beam was supposed to repair all things that came flying your way, and the collect beam was for collecting them, and then they should show up in your inventory, but that never worked. But before I tried to implement that feature, I wanted something else. I wanted to have a dialogue engine. So first of all, to kind of use this dialogue engine to integrate a tutorial so people would know which buttons to press. And also I wanted to integrate dialogue, so you could talk to the space station and other people flying around in space. But well, I got this asset from the asset store and I was like, yay, I can save some development time with this asset. But the dialogue engine I got crashed my whole code. So I could either use the dialogue engine and people could talk in the game, or I could move around and dissolve things, but I couldn't do both things in one game. So, well, this didn't work because the dialogue engine crashed the game. I was also running out of time. which means money. If you're using all your time to develop a game, you're not making any money, which means you gotta live from something. I also had no clear plan how to continue, and this is a perfect recipe for a nice little panic attack, or maybe also a big one. So I went job searching, and I wasn't aware of this before, but actually, if you looking for a part-time job, that's the extra hard edition of job searching. Because for some reason, you're not doing proper work if you work less than 30 hours per week. If you like only got 25, that's a no for a lot of jobs just because you got 5 hours less. And I actually never had a problem getting a job before, but now that I had to factor in the time constraints that come with having a little person to care for, yeah, it was hard. But by the end, I actually found a job as an IT instructor. But spoiler alert, that one didn't work out for me either. But this job came with some benefits. I held it for about a year. So now I had some money again. I had lots of time to clarify the concept while I was doing this job because I had a lot of train rides, so I could think about those things. I decided to set myself a time limit of 6 months this time. So I don't know when my money would be running out. I found other people who also make games. This is very important. You need to have contact with other people who also make games. Because if I had had those people before, then I could have talked to them saying, that doesn't work. Do you have any ideas? And this is so helpful to have other people. And I also learned the Godot engine. Well, I get into this more in a second. So it was dust yourself off and try again. This time with the Godot engine. And this is what the game looks now in the Godot engine. And I gotta say, the Godot engine for me was such a stroke of luck. I love it. Seriously, because it has less functions. And actually, that's a good thing, because it means there's less stuff in the interface that you don't need. Because as a solo developer, you really gotta focus. You can't do everything. First of all, I decided, okay, there's no 3D things going on because it takes way too long. And so I just can flip to 2D and there's no 3D things flying around and going on my nerves. And also, I love GD script because GD script was made for the Godot engine. And it's just, as an information designer especially, I love things that made for a certain purpose because, well, usually that means they're better at doing this. So, yes. So this is where I'm now. I'm in outer space. Yes! Well, I'm 3.5 months along down the road, so I've got 2.5 months more to go. The Steam page is online. Woohoo! You can wishlist if you want to. All the basic gameplay systems are working, and they're working together. Yay! Like, you can dissolve things, and you can talk to people in the same game. Amazing! And you can also go to the space station, and you can buy things, but you can also repair things with the repair beam and then sell them to the space station. So you can buy and sell things. Oh, I'm so excited. And you can talk to people. You can talk to people. You can talk to people. This is so amazing. Yeah, okay. I'm freaking out a bit. So the demo should go online next week, so you can actually try playing this game. Tell me what you think. I want to know what you think. And, well, yes, that's it. I'm still Sarah. I'm still trying to develop a game in 6 months as a part-time solo game developer, and I'm very pleased to meet you. And I'd love to know a thing or two about you if you are willing to share in the comments. So what are you doing right now? Are you also developing a game? Are you just curious about other people's developing games? What are you doing? Nice to meet you. And I'm planning to continue making small videos about my current progress in the game developing thingy, and yeah. So if you're curious about how this continues, feel free to show up again. I'd love to see you again. Bye bye.